Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Guys, I'm all by myself, so if you were really wanting an intro song, it's just not going to happen tonight. Hi, replay viewers. Hi, Pat. Hi, Gerald. Gerald, are you playing this for your entire vehicle? Hi. Thank you, Terry. Okay, so this is the doodle that I'm going to show you how I made this page. And show you that it's a lot easier than it looks. I got quite a few messages about it just saying, show us what you did or make a video or do something. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Hot California. It is like 72 here and it is perfect. I'm sorry, you're so hot. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, this literally was like a 20-minute doodle. So it can be super easy or super complicated depending on how many layers you want to do. Hey, Heather. So I am going to do a similar page to this and show you what I did. So if you can't watch the whole thing, make sure you come back for the replay or find the part that you have questions about and ask questions while I'm doing it too. Well, we will get hot, I tell you, but this week has just been beautiful. We were actually cold at the pool today. I hate to complain, but the wind and the wet water, we were like just chittering. So it was cold. But okay, so everybody got to look at this. This is what we're going to recreate. And maybe I'll do the same arrangements of flowers so you can see how I did them too. So maybe I'll leave it out. And I am going to work in a different Bible so I can look at that, I think. Home snacks Wi-Fi. You're good. Oh man. Well, you should get out a piece of paper and your watercolors and just do it with me. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm very inconsistent with my periscoping and what night I hit. But maybe next time. Thanks for saying hi. Okay, so this is my what is this called? Interleaved Bible. So this is a really big one. It like barely fits in the camera view. Hey, Lisa. So what I love about this Bible is that it has a blank page in between all of the written pages. So I have a full clean page to show you how to do these watercolor flowers. And then I'll probably do some journaling or some stickers over it too. But if you are someone that doesn't like to write on the actual words of the Bible, this would probably be a good book for you. Okay, so I didn't use pencil. I just kind of started drawing the shapes, but you definitely could draw in kind of where you wanted your flowers to be if you don't like just going for it. But I'm just going to go for it to show you how quick and easy it can be. Because we're basically doing a couple shapes, so you'll see. These are the watercolors I'm using. They're the Prima watercolors, and they're 3 different sets. I really should have written it down. But I had the tropical, the pastel, and maybe it was the classic. So what I did was I took the 3rd pan, I ripped off, let me show you real quick, since I always get questions. I ripped off this thing, the little thing where you can mix and do palette things. I ripped that off. I took 6 of the ones from this side and I put them down the middle here, and then I took 6 of the ones from this side and put them here. So this is actually 3 sets. Hi, Bonti. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but hi. So it's 3 pans in one, and then when you rip off that thing, it allows you to overlap them. So I kind of like set my 3 trays that I have all in a row, so all like my color palettes are together. I like that better than having to like open a million different little mini guys. So that's what I'm using. Hey, Sherry. Goodness, everybody's on tonight. I guess it is Tuesday. That's a good night. All right, so my watercolors, I don't know where I can put them so you can see them, maybe a little bit here. Maybe I'll work on the top part so you can see what I'm pulling. And then I just have some water and a brush, and then we're going to use a couple black pens and then the white gel pen at the end. Well, 2 boxes, 3 3 boxes combined into 2, if that makes sense. But I kind of like hug them next to each other so it looks like one big box. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is a couple of the flowers were just circles. So they're probably about quarter size. Not too big, not too little. And I'm just going to pick some different colors. I always apparently reach for pink first. And just draw a circle. Now when you watercolor, you want to see that variation. So you will... Ooh, yay, Sherry. Happy mail is fun. You want to start light and then build darker. So if you put a lot of ink on your brush, sorry, I was trying to find something. There we go. If you put a lot of ink on your brush right away, you're just going to get a dark color, and then you won't see that variation. And that's what you're funny. Yes, quarters are the same size. I didn't know that. If you pull up too much right away, you're not going to see that, and that's what's like traditional of watercolors. Okay, so I'm going to do another circle, yellow, and I'm just rinsing my brush in between. If you think you got too much paint, just make sure you have a tissue ready to blot. Oh, I forgot I was going to do the same thing. Okay, mine's looking a little different. Just doing a couple circles. That one's orange, you can't tell. So maybe I'll pick up a little darker orange and give part of it. And you can blob some of it off if it looks too thick or too bright. Let's see, what else do we have? I think I had another pink one over here. Everybody can do circles, right? Easy peasy. And you can see it's already starting to kind of bleed, so when that dries, it'll give that look. So now I'm going to work on a different area and then come back to these to build some of the inside color. So I had a little leaf up here. So the leaf's kind of an easy shape. It's like a circle, but it's got a little point at the end. And with this, the looser, the messier, the better. You really don't try to be perfect with it. I had a purple leaf up here. See, and I grabbed some of the green, so I'm just going to blot out the green. Make sure I get purple this time. Down here I had a pink one. I could do a couple little polka dots. Those will turn into little flowers later. So far we've just done circles. Big circles, little circles, circles with a point at the end. This is kind of like a leaf, so I'm just taking, I kind of have a squared off brush, and I'm just pulling it to make a little leaf. Just pulled it down. So that kind of is going to be like a leaf on like a little branch. Then I had some blue circles in here. I'm trying not to let them touch each other so they don't kind of bleed into each other. Dark purple. There it is. Some more circles, kind of like berries, I guess you could think of it as. Not perfect circles since I have a square brush. Then another flower down here. A little mustard flower over here. And it looks like a pink leaf. There is no wrong or right with doodles. Okay, so this, oh wait, I lied, not done. Hold on, there's a couple up here. There we go. So that looks pretty good. I've kind of got it shooting out all sides. I might need something else right here. Let's do another little happy leaf tucked back in there. Okay. So I got my main flowers. I got some things shooting out in each direction. Just did a little color. I'm going to hit this with a little hot air and dry it. Yeah, I definitely lean towards bright colors, but you could do this in any palette if you wanted to use just like some of the darker ones. But to me, this says Summer Fun Bouquet. Okay, so I'm going to go in. No, I didn't dry it completely. Like, they're still kind of wet. And you can add another color. So some of these, if you see, are original here, have a little bit different centers. So there's different colors in the center. You could just do a darker shade. A lot of times that looks nice if you just, like if I had red here, I put a dark red or a darker purple, something that's going to be in the same family, not an opposite. So whichever way you want. If you want it to pop out more, then I would do an opposite color. So let's see if we put a little orange in that, around the edge and in the middle. We could put dark red in the middle. These two. And it's just kind of just like a sloppy circle. Honestly, the less you care about it, the better it will look, I promise. You just quick do it. This is a leaf. Make sure you don't color your leaf a different color. It's like that. Like, I don't like that you can see all the brush strokes on that. So I'm just gonna blot that off. A little water blends it. And that kind of disappears. Watercolor is very forgiving. A little blue in there. These guys look good. You can see where my paintbrush stopped. It made a darker splotch, so it looks darker. I want him to dry a little bit more, and then maybe I'll put the green in there. Let's do like a strawberry purpley color. Okay, so now my flowers have centers except for this guy. If it's too wet and you put a weird color in there, it's just going to bleed all over the place. Like that red is just going to seep right into it if it's too wet. But we'll see how it dries. Now I'm going to take, let's do pink. I don't even know why I look at other colors. Pink is kind of my go-to. Okay, so I put lots of water, lots of color. It's not focusing. And then all I do is tap the top of the brush to do a couple little splatters. So I like that the splatters go into the wet watercolor that's already there and it kind of bleeds into it. And then I would pick another color, not too dark, and splat. I don't always splatter, it's hard to see, I don't always splatter the whole page. Like I'm leaving this white down here and I'll probably leave it white up there and kind of just splattering across it. So not everywhere, you don't want it to be too full or chaotic. A little green. And the splatters will look cool once they dry. And a little yellow. Yellow is a good filler color. And a couple in the middle in this white spot. Which in my original one I ended up putting stickers in there so it didn't matter too much, but that's fun. Okay, so this is pretty much the primary watercolor. Like if you didn't think you had enough color or layers in something, you could just keep drying it, see what it looks like, and keep adding color. If you didn't like how dark it was, or if it wasn't bleeding enough, you just keep going in there. But typically 2 passes is enough to kind of see that mix. Any questions so far? So that's the watercolor. That was like, what, 3 minutes? 4 minutes? Easy peasy. Okay, I'm gonna dry it. So maybe go get a snack from the kitchen or a little drink, because you want it dried completely for this next step. Oh, and P.S. when you're drying, if you're not using like cardboard or something, you want to take it out if you're using your plastic mat so you don't melt a hole through it, because I just did that yesterday. Almost done. Okay, sorry. So now if I was just at home doing something, I would put my little cardboard in there, close my Bible when it's kind of like, you know, slightly damp, but mostly the puddles are gone. And I'd close my Bible and I'd let it sit probably for half an hour. And that will straighten this page right out, because it kind of gets wrinkly from the water and then drying it. But the weight of the Bible will smooth that out, a lot of it out. But since I'm not going to go put laundry in or something, we'll just keep going. And this will be a wrinkly page, but that's okay. All right, so next comes the black pen. Oh yeah, I don't mind it. It's fun. I love that noise too. My favorite black pens are the Faber-Castells, and I usually buy them in the 6-pack where you get the variety of all the different sizes, but my medium is usually my go-to, or the fine, which is the F, for my base one, and then I always do a smaller outline too, in the small or the extra small. So I'm going to start with the M, and again, kind of like the watercolor, this is not like trace, be perfect, stay right on the line. You literally are just going to wobble, weeble wobble, around your shape twice. That's kind of my rule. I want to see those spots where it's white, like I didn't watercolor all the way to the edge, or it went in and my watercolor went outside of the line. It gives it that look. So just wobble around all the circles twice. And you kind of have to make your hand wiggle a little bit. Don't worry if it overlaps. Sometimes I'll go back in and say, okay, this one looks too perfect. I got to put a little bump in there, but rarely I'll go in and like do it that slow and that precise. I'm just whipping around. Okay, so those are the flowers, and I'm gonna go around where the centers would be twice. You don't want to go right over your line twice, because then it gets really dark and thick. Then we have our leaves. And a lot of my leaves didn't really have the point, but that's when I'm going to draw in the point so you can see it. So that's why you don't have to be too nitpicky or perfect on your watercolor thing, because your pen can make up for that. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's see if I can move this over. There are 2 leaves up here. Wiggled around that. This, I think I was going to make those leaves. So I'll make them a little bigger so they can touch something. And I made the leaves touch so they look like they're all connected, even though I didn't paint them connected. I can do that. These ones I won't connect so you can see. These kind of are like jelly beans. And then you can draw a line down the middle of them to make them look like they're on a branch together. Okay, these are circle berries. These are circle flowers. Circles. And then, I mean, you could draw a line between these showing like that they're all connected. Or if you want to make them look like little flowers, you can put little leaves. So it's kind of like a heart that you go down in between. So you just loop. My pen is dying. Loop, loop, and I just kind of put them on different sides to make them look like a little flower there. A little dot. So we're just starting to outline and doodle a little bit. And see, I put the dots. Sometimes they're on the side, sometimes they're on this side, the bottom, the top. Just put them all over. These guys. Sorry, I'm trying to draw. Everything outlined? Yeah, so that was the thick one. I did a couple laps around each one. This is the medium. The F, I can find it here. The F is pretty close. I kind of use them interchangeably. You can see the medium is a little bit wider, but it's still thick enough to do an outline with it too. So then using the small or the extra small, then I do another lap. And with this thin one, this one's really little, I get a little more wiggly because I want to see that. Like, I'm going to shake it almost as it goes around. And I'm going to go way past the border. Okay, here's the thing. I'm trying to pen sideways so you can see, but in order for the ink to work, you have to be upright, so I apologize, but you can see how fast I'm going. I'm just loosely going around it. And you almost don't even have to think about it because your other pen is there. Ah, you don't have a dryer. Get out your hair dryer. It goes fast though. And Heather, you post yours. Yours will be like neat and perfect. I really want you to wobble. Wobble, wobble. Yeah, this is definitely like a fast technique. Like if I was doing an animal or like you wanted to actually see petals on the flower, yeah, you're going to slow down, you're going to outline everything, you're probably going to pencil it first, but this truly is, the faster you go, the more loose, abstract it looks. And I mean, that's the whole point of this kind of doodly, folksy, I don't know what you want to call it, but you know, that kind of look. Okay, so now here's where I would put in some little details, and you just got to kind of look at what you got. So these guys have some space here. Yeah, you wobble with it. So I'm going to maybe make these look like they're a flower coming out of there. So I put a little base, which is just a triangle with a stem. Let's say his is coming over there. My pens are dying. Which was like, ooh, which is like a good thing because then I get to buy new pens. Sorry, I tipped you. There, my back. There we go. Okay, close enough. I don't even know what I was saying. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and do a couple different little doodles. So I made these flowers. Let's say we give them some spikes on top of their heads. So it's just a little line with a couple little balls. These guys have a couple little bumpies on them. So it might not look like much, but as you build all the way around, it just adds one more level of detail and layering. On the leaves, it's kind of fun if you have a space somewhere between the two. You can do a little stripe going down. This guy doesn't really have too many spots, so just work with whatever lines you have. And remember, the white is going to be kind of like our inside detail. If you're just going to do black, you know, you could do the veins inside a leaf, or you know, you could polka dot a leaf too because it's doodly. But I'm going to do that in white, so I'm kind of saving the inside. I guess I did do some black dots in there, but do what I say, not what I do. This guy could have a couple little bumpies on the side to look like extra little petals. Doesn't have to be a ton. I mean, you could really go crazy on every single one of these, but I don't think that's totally necessary. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I think this is a fun effect and an easy process for somebody that doesn't feel like they are a drawer or could, you know, trace something very easily. I'm just putting little lines in my little leaves. Yeah, if I can't think of something to do, I usually go to florals, so this is an easy one to kind of whip out. What's something else we could do? We could do a couple little dashes. Just around parts of it, you don't have to do the whole leaf. But these are fun. You could just do splatters of paint and you wouldn't even have to think that they're florals, if florals aren't your thing. I wish I had something right there, but I'm going to be okay with it not. Okay, so to me, that's enough black. I do want to, okay, so I added these little leaves. So instead of getting out my watercolors and like having to dry everything, I'm just going to grab a marker. I have like a big box set of all the different colors, so it's easy to just grab. And I can pull the green in those leaves. And I'm not worried. See, I went out of the lines. Like, I'm not worried about staying in the lines because I want to mimic the watercolor, which is sometimes in the black and sometimes not in the black. And I think, oh yeah, even on mine, I put a little marker in between because I didn't like how white it was and I didn't want to get out my paints again. So I actually put a couple different colors of markers and just did some like polka dots or pulls in there to give a little color. Or if you don't think your leaves look green enough, you could add a little marker in there too to give you a little variation. But just remember, marker has a definite line when you do it if it's a too dark of a color. It won't look too blended if you go crazy. So that looks good. Maybe I'll do a little purple in here to give another corner a little darker. I like when you can see from light all the way to dark. Okay, Sorry, that's a frivolous extra step. Okay, so now the white gel pen. There's lots of different gel pens. I used to have a really fancy like Uniball Signo, and it was really gooey, and then I would always like put my hand down and I would pick it up because it didn't dry very fast. So even though that's the expensive one and everybody uses it because it covers so well and it's thick the first time, sorry, I keep waving my thing. Do you want to take a picture without my hand? These are my favorite. They're cheap. They're jelly rolls. It's hard to see. You can get a 4-pack for like $6. It lasts a long time. I think it covers okay. I'm not mad if it skips a little bit. For the most part, it does a really good job. So now you're going to look at the inside of all of your leaves and flowers. So if you look at our original, I did swirls, polka dots, dashes, big ones, little ripples, feathery looking things, hash, Google Zentangles with a Z if you're not sure what some different patterns that you could draw on top of something, and just look at them and do it. Oh, peeling. I hadn't heard about the Signos peeling. Well, I can kind of see that because it's a thick kind of glob that lays down. Where this, if it gets globby, I just really wipe it off on my finger and she keeps going. So I am not mad by it. Sometimes it looks like it's really thin, and then when it dries, it's pretty white. So then I don't worry about it. Oh, another Signo peeler. Okay, well, I'll stop telling people that those are the best ones. Clearly, they have issues. Okay, so I did a line down the middle, and then I'm just drawing some leaf veins. And don't worry about being perfect or going all the way to the edge or going past the edge or going into something else. Just like every single step, sloppy, messy, wobbly, just go for it. Do some little swirls. I love that it makes an impact without being like black and in your face like an outline would be. Like, it's subtle, but you can tell it's doing something too. I love that. Some little polka dots. And if I do one thing like in the center, don't go do polka dots around the outside. You want to mix it up, break it up. This guy could have some fat stripes. And obviously right here, you're not really going to see it, but I still do it. FFTVG. It is your first day on Periscope? Well, I will definitely welcome you. Welcome, welcome. This one could have swirl too. This yellow, you're really not going to see too much. I'll just put it in the darker spots. It's your first day too? Simply sharing. Look at you guys. Nice. Well, I hope I'm not wrecking the Periscope for you. I'm talking too much. Hi, Maria. All right, so let's do a couple hashes in here. This guy could have like little daisy petals. Obviously your darker ones like this is going to show up more than something that's lighter. So maybe save your favorite patterns for the dark spot. It's kind of like owl feathers there. Some zigzags. I'm not doing the whole thing, just some different parts. Okay, so now it'd be funny if I put different stickers over this and post this on my Instagram. If people notice that it looks exactly like the one before it from yesterday. Looks a little different, even though I'm like looking at that one to try to do the same thing. You know, your paint just goes somewhere else, or you're a little sloppier in a different spot, or use a different shade of color. These just remind me of grapes. Like these light yellow, you're really not going to see, so I'm not really going to do anything there. do some more dashes. I used to dash everything. I was obsessed with outlining with dashes. Yeah, the light blue's too light. Like here, I probably should have put a darker blue at the bottom of each of these. But you see how the splatters make a little color and interest in there. That's why I love splattering. It's like purposeful messiness. What haven't we done? Polka dot swirl, stripes. Let's do two big ones. And sometimes the watercolor kind of, you know, cakes up on there, so. Hi! Oh yeah, chevron. Did that down here. So let's do, maybe this leaf could have a chevron pattern. Heather, I've gotten so many compliments on my Canada shirts that you sent me. And 2 gals from Canada actually asked me where I got them. And I was like, I don't know. So I sent them your Instagram. I'm like, I don't know what store she got them at. I said, I don't actually live in Canada. Oh, no, you're fine. I repeat. This is totally different. This looks more like chevron. These are like zigzaggies. Maria, you're from Canada too? Oh, Canada. How about side dashes? Oh, hey, all the Canadian girls tonight. I love it. I've been to Canada twice. I told Heather I'm going to come visit her. Because every picture of the mountains and like babbling brooks that she posts, I'm like, oh, I gotta get there. Missouri. I've been to Missouri too. But it's hot in Missouri. Texas. Look, we got a little bit of everybody. Let's do another polka dot. Polka dots are my favorite. Virginia. My aunt lives in Virginia. I have been there often. Oh, Lori, I didn't see you sneak on. I bet Lori's being crafty while she's watching. There's some little bubbles. Let's do another. I love that little hand up emoji. It's so cute. Do a rainbow. That one's kind of hard to see. I knew it. Yeah, Heather, where do you live? Prepping for VBS. Ooh, fun. Ours is in like 3 weeks and I need to stop being in denial. I'm doing crafts and I've got to start prepping stuff too, but I don't do anything until it's like the week before. Alberta. Okay, so I think I've like touched white on everything. Oh, you know what? I do have black marker on mine too. So I used the big brush pen. And this is just black. You're the craft director too. Fun. And I just did some slashes of the black to give it something else to look at. Like, I'm sure there's artsy terms for it to make your eye like keep moving around. So if you don't have like a couple bold spots, your eye won't keep circling. I don't know what that's called, but so when those kind of dry really fast, I did some polka dots on top of the marker because your white really will show up on anything. And you could do stripes. I probably should have done some stripes and some polka dots. Stripes would be cute on that too. You were wondering? Now you know. Now you can do it. Now, I definitely know that there's some people out there that don't want to tell you how they did things, but goodness, I think everybody should know everybody. It's art. Yours is always going to look a little different, even if you do this exact same thing that I'm doing and showing you how to do it. Like, my 2 pages look completely different. And I did both of them within 3 days. So, I think you should always be willing to help people and show them how to do it and learn something new. Let's have the fun. Okay. My VBS theme is, what is it? Peru. Oh, what's it called? Something else Peru. Probably starts with a P. I don't know. Something Peru. But, do you know what I love about it? I just reached over. The main character is a little llama, Lola the llama. So we're making little bandanas for all the kids, and we have the llama paper and the stickers and all this stuff. And I think Nicole, is Nicole still on here? She had the llama paper several months ago, and I was like, I need that paper. I'm doing llamas this summer, and she helped me find the paper right away. So I am ready for VBS. I just need to like cut everything out and get ready. So this is the basic process, and then I would just get out stickers, and that's all that's really added on here. I did a couple stickers, some of like the little enamels. My ampersand is actually, so if you guys know anything about me, I'm also kind of a supply hoarder. So I have a really fun die cut that's in all the different types of ampersands, and I just cannot use them because they're so cute. So I just laid it down, and in pencil I traced it, and then I colored it in. Because to get this perfect like this, that would take me forever to draw. So tracing something that you don't want to actually use so you can keep hoarding it works just well. So I would maybe put like a little sticker thing in here, or something that's going to be like a solid plain color. Like if you had a busy die cut like that, you would never want to put busy on top of busy. You need something a little more neutral, something that's got a whiter base to it, or I'm trying to think, you know, like this has more white on it, so you can see what it has. That's gonna pop a little bit better on top of your crazy. Or you could just leave it and just do a little journaling down in the corner, because I didn't use the whole page. And really, this is nice too. Like in my Bible, you could still see some of the words because the watercolor isn't really dark. Really, the black lines are gonna be the thickest thing that you can't read through. So yeah, so that is how I doodle watercolor. Any questions about any of the supplies, or maybe a mistake you've already found and you're wondering how to fix it, or shapes? I already lost my page. The watercolors, these are the Primas. They come with 12 of them, and I think most of them are almost 20 bucks for a palette. And I bought 3 palettes and combined them into these 2. That's why I have an extra row of colors. Oh yeah, go back and watch the beginning so you can see. It was, I don't know, you guys tell me. I always say it's easy, and people are like, well, when you're not doing it, it's not easy. But they're literally like circle shapes, and you just kind of cluster and overlap them. And to me, I think that's the easiest kind of watercolor florals you can. Or if you find a picture or something you like this is a piece of paper, you know, you just look at it and see, okay, that's about like an oval. Just look at the basic shapes and kind of how they laid it out, and then you can mimic something that you like, or in a cluster that you like, to make yours look like that. Like you could even use this, looking at something like that, to see, okay, it's got 3 main flowers, there's a leaf, a cluster, some little berries coming up. You can look at it and just make it larger on your page if just starting with a blank page is too scary. The napkins, I know, the napkin, like, genius. Why weren't we doing that a long time ago? I mean, we've all like collaged a napkin on top of a notebook cover, but to put it in your Bible, makes it so easy. Okay, I missed that last comment because I was still talking. Say it again. I'm sorry. Something. Maybe it was Pat. Was it you, Pat? Napkin crazy. I know, it's so pretty. And it's like, ooh, I can do this in 15 minutes. Didn't get a chance to thank you for saying, oh, you're welcome. It was fun. I sent a lot of napkins out. What kind of paper outside of Bible? Oh, any kind. The thicker usually is the better for watercolor. If you don't have watercolor paper, like just even a white cardstock would work. I tend not to use like copy paper because that's too thin. A 32 pound is probably a thick enough. And if your paper is too thin, even though this is pretty thin, regular copy paper is a little more, how do I say, like pulpy. Like if you get it too wet, it can kind of like peel a little bit and get kind of gross. So a little bit thicker paper would be better. You can pen right on the watercolor paper. I actually, where is that? The page I did, ooh, this is not out yet. This is very similar style that I did for a PR group. This is watercolor paper, so you can see it's thicker, and I drew the pen right on it. Still held. Hey, no pictures. No, it's okay. But this was for a stamp company that I made a little card for. So yeah, so this is thick. That's the pen right on it. So everything that I did here, it's a similar style. You can see like when I PR for different groups, sometimes I have 5 different groups that I need to make something for. I will make a similar style on all my projects just to kind of make it a little bit easier on me. But yeah, so thick paper, thin paper, it's all going to do the same thing. You're just going to have better bleeds. Like this, I had to put, you saw, like 4 different colors of paint on that to get that look, where this is 2 colors and it kind of bleeds because it's watercolor paper. So it's a lot easier. Ooh, speaking of napkins, look at these ones I just got in the mail. Look at that little scalloped edge. It's like one of those edges I want to actually see in my Bible. Oh, another funny napkin story. Last night I'm at a bridal shower committee meeting, and somebody said, wouldn't that be fun if we had different napkins on every table? And I'm like, oh, really? Well, I happen to have a collection of like 100 different napkins. And they were like, no, like one table's all red, one table's all pink or whatever. And I was like, oh, sad. I thought I was going to get to use my collection. Not that I would want to give them all away, but I thought that was funny. That somebody thought that'd be really cool to have different napkins. Okay, girls. Well, I could just keep blabbing because Max went golfing a couple hours away, so he's not home. He spent the day golfing with some boys, and Graylin's having a slumber party at Grandma's house, so Stetson went to bed early, so I thought I'd hop on Periscope. So thanks for joining me tonight, and maybe I'll put this in my stories or do something on top of it and post it on Instagram so you can see how I finished it. But if you try this, make sure you tag me, because I don't always see if somebody just comments because I get so many notifications. But if you actually tag my Mag and me, then I can see what you did and check it out. Alrighty, loves. I will talk to you all later. Thanks for watching. Thanks, replay viewers, for watching. Oh, Candy, did you just get on? Sorry. Yeah, watch the replay. Super easy. Everybody can do it. Try it this week. Thank you. Good night. That was for you, Heather. I was waving at you all the way in Canada. Bye, Lisa.